Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mohamed Alhosani, Principal Research Scientist in Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy. So from title, I do research and I file patents. And I also teach. I teach students chemistry, so those are deck cadets and engine cadets as part of my responsibility. And since last year, I'm overseeing the academic activities in the academy as a provost or acting provost. So I'm delighted to speak with you today on the subject of bridging skill gap in maritime education in the age of decarbonization. In my opinion, it is one of the most important issues facing the global maritime industry today. The International Maritime Organization, the Abu Dhabi Ports Group, and the Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy is strongly supporting the concerted international effort to decarbonize and future-proof our industry for a sustainable future for the next generations to come. Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy, starting back in 2023, became the first maritime training institution in the region to integrate a cutting-edge research and development technologies in our first-year academic programs. Yet globally, the skill gap does unfortunately persist in much of maritime education, one that is complicating global efforts to groom the next generation of sea captains and engineers, and to lead the coming green transition in global maritime and shipping trade. Too often, the rising star of our maritime future enter the workforce without meaningful training in those cutting-edge fields that are shaping our industry today. I speak here about technologies such as artificial intelligence, autonomous vessels, alternative fuels, and others. A report issued in 2023 by ELOD Registers and University of Maritime Advisory found that 450,000 seafarers will require some additional training by 2030 in emerging technologies and fuels. Even more than that, around 800,000 will need training by the mid-2030s, assuming a ramp-up of artificial intelligence and alternative fuels. In large part, ladies and gentlemen, this skill gap is largely the result of slow-moving ability of global maritime education to keep pace with the technological progress. Global maritime education is one of the most heavily regulated fields in the world because of the global consensus that requires everyone to agree to any rule that's need to be changed. As a result, the level of regulation in maritime education is even stronger than the workers in the nuclear industry. For example, from a technological point of view, the development of electric navigational chart, ENC, it's the primary means of electronic navigation on cargo ships, was largely completed in 1980s. Yet it took around 25 years for ENC to be fully embraced by the global shipping industry. That's what was required, ladies and gentlemen, to reach a global agreement on the core educational curricula used to groom graduates in ENC technologies. Some progress have been made, to be honest, but we still are facing similar difficulties today when it comes to innovation such as AI, autonomous vessels, alternative fuels, and other emerging technologies such as a swarm-based system. Because of the pace of digital innovation today is, let's say, multiple of what it was 40 years ago. The urgency of solution is correspondingly much greater and more urgent. There are currently no adequate approved curricula available to educate this year class of Maritime Academy graduates in most of these exciting new technologies. So what many of the world's leading academy, including Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy, have done is to develop their own add-on to these academic programs. For example, we provided in-house training modules like those offered in Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy to bridge this gap. But ladies and gentlemen, not all academies have the resources to do this, and there are also limits to extending an educational course of study that is already 3 years long. I believe what is needed today is an agile rethinking of the maritime education curricula processes to be more quick in adopting those emerging technologies such as AI and alternative fuels. Such a revamp would require to find a way to accelerate the consensus around new educational curricula. That is to integrate new technologies in a timely way that support decarbonization and sustainability. Without such change, the skill gap, I fear, will continue to persist in large parts of the world, delaying the crucial training of maritime personnel and ultimately slowing the speed which industry can adopt those emerging technologies. While global consensus in maritime education training may lag the current pace of digital development, Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy is bridging the gap itself, developing the necessary training regimes to ensure that our graduates are the most skilled and up-to-date in the world. Our current 200 Maritime Academy students engage with the latest market-relevant research from the first year in their academic programs, familiarizing themselves with the most relevant development in a practical way, expanding their knowledge and ability to enter the workforce. Since we've integrated an independent R&D component in our maritime education curricula in 2023, our graduates have already developed several compelling innovations that have qualified for patents, with direct application to today's industry and AD Ports Group own operation. Since this room is filled with many distinguished guests, allow me to share one success story in Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy. One of the patents currently under development in our students' R&D program is for an AI tool to use and to predict any maintenance issue with the vessel. So those predictive maintenance can significantly reduce the cost of maintenance and also the dry docking and all of those. So how we efficiently repair and maintain our vessels will completely change in the future. Such a practical hands-on experience is one reason why our graduates routinely finish in top tiers of certification from the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers, the primary professional and learning society for all members of the commercial shipping industry worldwide. So one hand can't clap. The world needs an updated set of core global curricula in maritime education that is better synchronized with the cutting edge of technological change. On that, will produce the next generation of maritime industry leaders equipped with the future technologies that will come in the maritime sector. The field of global maritime education must evolve with the speed the industry itself can control. When that days come, the only obstacle to green transition in the global transport industry when it comes to maritime education will be the speed of our imagination. Thank you for your attention.